With only 4 days to go, I finally dragged myself off to acquire some Christmas goods. The Super Nintendo Christmas will be dominated by Donkey Kong Country, essentially a platform game. It does import next-generation graphics using the Silicon graphics machine. However, this doesn't hide the fact that it's actually very dull. While we're on the subject of overrated games, Rise of the Robots, the game that's taken about 40 years to finally get here. I can sum up Rise of the Robots in 2 words. 70 quid. No thank you. The Super Nintendo game of this year, however, for me, Street Racer, half the price of Rise of the Robots, only 35 quid. The game which kicks Super Mario Kart's pants into next week. Earthworm Jim, you cannot beat. Definitely the most imaginative platform game ever written. Puts Donkey Kong to complete shame. Once again, in terms of good value for money, Mega Bomberman, the Mega Drive version of Super Bomberman, 30 quid. Now that is absolutely brilliant. Again, you can link it up, you can have multiplayer fun, 1 to 4 players, and it's rather smart. The big question facing Sega owners this Christmas, do they buy a 32X or not? Well, yes, it is good, but it's only a year until Sega's new Saturn comes out. So the other thing you ought to bear in mind is don't pay too much attention to things like this, which says 50 quid off 32X software. It's actually 5 £10 off vouchers. And when you consider there's only 3 32X games out, this is a little bit of advertiser's license. There's been a huge boom in PC buying this year. This is probably the ultimate. It comes from Linux. It's got a very compact CPU, but it's got a Pentium chip, 100 megahertz clock speed, 1000 meg hard drive and 64 meg RAM. It also has an unfeasibly large monitor. All this means it could probably tell you when you needed to change your pants, but at £6,000, you probably couldn't afford it. As far as the PC is concerned, this is doomed to, everybody's heard about it by now. There's no need for me to say anymore. If you haven't got it yet, you are a pillock. But as far as value for money goes this Christmas, it's difficult to beat the X-Wing CD-ROM set. You've got the original X-Wing game, plus the 2 data discs, Imperial Pursuit and B-Wing, plus even more historical missions to play. All of this for 40 quid, which is excellent value. Now, all this official stuff's very well and good, but if you're an impatient young pup who longs to get their hands on some foreign elements, the best thing to do is to visit one of this country's quality import shops, like this one. Furthest away from me, wearing Ridge Racer pants, is the Sony PlayStation, costing 750 quid. There's about 4 games available for it. Closest to me, wearing Virtua Fighter flavoured pants, we have the Sega Saturn. That weighs in at 600 notes, and there's about 7 games available. So why are they so expensive? I mean, people will be watching this at home, their toes curling at 750 quid, 600 quid. Why is it so much?
Well, basically, Sony don't want to launch this product as with Sega in this country, so we had to go out ourselves to Japan and go to retail shops in Japan and buy them there. You can't get them in Japan right now, you can't get them anywhere. They sold out in Japan within 24 hours. So this price has to be as it is. It will drop dramatically over the next 3 weeks when supply overcomes demand.
Right. So, with my Crimbo goods lodged firmly in their bulging sacks, the goblins were lucky enough to get to walk home, while I was forced to seek other methods of transport.